Hey guys, it is Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and we're here for week 4 of Christmas in July, and this is the final week. So, because July is over, but I thought we'll start off with. I'm just going to remind you that for every week I did, there is a blog post so far. So I'll just quickly show you. So week 1, we created this super cute card with the long time no see stamp set. And then from Christmas, I turned it into a birthday card because that llama is just so stinking cute. Like, how could you not? He really is cute. And in real life, in person, he's even cuter. So that was week 1, and there is a full blog post for that. And then week 2, I played with the alphas and the little dog in the sweater because he's also super duper cute. So I did a Christmas version, right, with the new strawberry slush, the new in color, and granny apple green because I love that color combination for Christmas. And then I felt I had to turn it into a birthday card. So there is the birthday version with the glimmer paper, and there's a full blog post for this one also. So that was week number 2. And then last week I did a scrapbooking note, and this one turned out so perfect. I love the way the Christmas ornaments turned out in the end. So I did some watercolor. I did some watercoloring with our inks and colored the little holly. They were from the ephemera pack, right? And then there's the pudding down here in the corner. Made a big title, right? So I tried to like run themes through Christmas in July always, so that either I focus on a product or kind of like try and tie them all together. So I do always try and like string it along, so there is like a theme in place. So today, as promised, I said, sorry, I'm just going to move those things out of the way. We're going to do a fun fold card. So here is the card I'm going to create with you today, wishing you the sweetest Christmas with the little jar punch. So there's a stamp set for the online exclusive products right now that coordinates with the jar punch. And so I thought we would play with it. And I'm going to add my desk in here now, and I'll show you where the idea came from. So if you're a demonstrator and participate in Creativity Now, then you'll recognize this card. So this features product coming for, so I think it's September. But it is really pretty blue themed holiday products, right? So this was the card that they made during Creativity Now. So I have changed it, obviously, and tweaked it a little bit, but I thought I would show you that. So there were 3 cards made during the event if you participated, right? So these are the 3 cards. And of course, I like have to alter things sometimes just because I can't help myself. So I did make some tweaks along the way, but I thought I would just show you where that came from. Okay, because super truth here, one of the reasons I became a demonstrator all those years ago when I first started with direct sales was because I wanted the inside scoop all the time. I wanted to know what was coming. I wanted to know all those fun things. And so things like this with Stampin' Up! And Creativity Now, or some of the events, or even the fact that when you're a demonstrator, you get to see things before other people. That's my favorite, one of my favorite parts still today, 20 whatever years later. Okay, so let's create our card. I'm going to add my desk in here. There will also be a full blog post for this one. Let's turn up some light here. If you guys have any questions along the way, make sure to answer them. I'll answer them. You ask them. So I'm going to show you how this card works. and then we'll do some fun things. Okay, so like I said, it is like a super simple fun fold card, but it's got this really pretty, I really like this, the mossy meadow and gold ribbon. So it's like mossy meadow on one side and gold on the other, which is really kind of fun and a little bit different, right? So the card opens up like this, and then you can add a message on the inside, and it says on my card, sending a jar full of cheer. Like I think that this is so sweet, and I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but we're gonna make the jar look like a jar. It's the same technique that I used for my I'm pretty sure it's my May card club to go. It was with celebratory sips, and I made it's similar. I shouldn't say it's the same. It's similar idea to that. So that's how we're going to make the jar shiny. Okay. So like I said, there will be a blog post after with like the details, and then I'm not exactly sure if it will be done by the weekend, but I'm trying to. I have the other ones done. I just haven't done this one. There'll be like a compilated downloadable PDF for all of them. Like all the projects I showed you right at the beginning. Okay, so we are going to take this piece of paper. And this piece of paper is from, oh my goodness, my card. The little thing just fell out, so we just put that back in there or I will lose it. And I'm just going to put these over here. There we go. So this is from the Seasons of Excellence paper. Elegance paper, not Excellence. And it is 4 1/4 by 12. So the one that they made is just 4 inches wide. And I'm assuming the reason it was designed that way was so that you could get 4 out of a single piece of 12 by 12 paper, right? Which makes sense. So if you want to teach it as a class or get more cards out of a piece of designer series paper, then just go with the 4-inch measurement. I did this one as 4 1/4 because I wanted the true card size. Now, if they're standing side by side, I don't know that you'd really notice the difference, to be super honest with you. But you can see here when I put one on top of the other, there's a 1/4 inch mark difference, right? But so this still could go in a normal size envelope. They did, during the event, we did make like a custom envelope, which kind of, it was out of decorative paper, but it will fit in like a traditional size envelope. Let me just grab an envelope over here. Because as I say that, I think I should probably make sure that that's true. Okay, one moment. So funny. I just noticed that I looked out my window beside me and I noticed it's raining and my back door was like wide open because the dog, of course, wanted to go outside right before I went live. So I had to close the back door really quickly. Sorry about that. Okay, so you can see here, it will go into a regular size envelope, right? And it's just got a little bit of extra room. So like I said, if you want to kind of like mass produce them with designer series paper, you can totally do the 4-inch cut, right? So then you would get 3 out of each piece of 12 by 12 paper. Or, like I said, this one's 4 1/4. It will still go inside my envelope. And I did not do a really good job of tying that bow back up there. It's not looking very pretty, but that's okay. But it also goes inside the envelope. We'll make it pretty after, right? For the glamour shots for the blog. Okay, so let's get creating. So you can do this with like any of your designer series paper, right? Any scraps. You could convert it to a birthday card, all of those fun things, right? So like I said, this is by 12 inches. Got one of the big embossing folders out here because we're going to emboss the front. So, let's move this. I feel like I need like elevator music for a soundtrack. Okay, so we're going to score this piece of paper. So always when you're scoring a designer series piece of paper, be gentle. Don't be like crazy rough with it, or you're going to just rip it or cut it or like make a hole in it, right? So the first score I'm going to make is at 2 inches. And really, I just have to make it enough that I can see it. And then we're going to do 7.5, which will make the card on the inside. Oh my goodness, I literally almost grabbed my cutting blade. Okay, so let's just make sure I can see, and I can't. My 2-inch one. There. Okay, that one I could see now. Now I could see them. Okay, so let's put the trimmer to the side. Okay. So I think it's kind of cute because this little lip is actually on the bottom of this one, right? Lots of times you can also, right, you could do it as, this is like a portrait style card, but you could also do it as a landscape card, right? If you wanted to do your card this way and have like a longer scene, but my scene also worked for this card this way. Okay, so here we go, right? We've got our card base now ready to go. Okay, so then we have our piece of cherry cobbler, and this is 3x4, and I picked the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder because literally this is my favorite. This is one of my favorites. I should stop saying it's my favorite because I think I have lots of favorites. And then, and I think tartan really does like say Christmas, right? So if I want to, like, it doesn't actually matter with this one, right? Because the stripes are like wonky stripes, like they're not meant to be perfect. But if I want to try and make sure that my piece of paper is lined up straight, I line it up with this black mark across like where the logo is. So that's how is an easy way to tell if you're straight in the embossing folder or not. Okay. So we're going to emboss this. Oh, I'll show you this one. So I think I put it inside the envelope. No? Oh, here. So this is a new embossing folder that's coming, and the middle is like not embossed. I'll show you. So it's like, it's called Peaceful Greenery 3D Embossing Folder. And so here, right, there's a die that coordinates with the inside piece, but this is like a perfect card front, right? And then you have that little section in the middle that doesn't get embossed. Really pretty and kind of different, I think. Okay, so we need to emboss this. And so I have this number 1, and then we need a number 4 because it's the 3D. So we have a number 4. There we go. And I'm not going to bring my little machine over and rattle the table. You'll just have to trust me. Okay, and one of the things I love about all the 8.5 by 11, or like the milled cardstock, if you want to call it that, is that when you run it through the embossing folder, it's like it keeps its color. there's totally fun techniques to use for the two-tone cardstock, right? But when you want it to not show white or not have a chance that it's going to have break on you, then it's nice to know that you can run this through and not have any sort of problems. Okay, so I am going to adhere this to my card base. And so I'm just centering it the best I can. Okay, so then I'll show you where the other things came from here, right? So I wanted a fun little platform or like place to have my jar sit. So from the Label Me Grateful, there's a really fun like ovally die, and so that's what I used to cut this out. So that's where we'll start. We will add some crumb cake. Because I wanted kind of like that rusticy, old-time Christmas feeling, right? So I'm going to do this to the front. And even though I've tapped down there, I'm always going to try and pick it back up and use it up, right? Because there's no point in wasting that ink that I already have put down. And then I have a liner for the inside, so I might as well distress it right now too. Here, I'll open this up so you can see. Okay, so we'll just wipe that and then we'll keep on going. So it's actually funny, even though this is week 4, this was the first card that I created for the series, like first project, because they're not all cards. So, okay. There we go. Okay, so while I have, we might as well finish off the liner first. And then we'll decorate our front. So, like I said, I love this little stamp set. So, we're going to need a few things from here, but we'll start with the inside, which says, sending you a jar full of cheer. There we go. I'll just stamp it with black. Okay, and let's grab my a blend here. Let's try ivory. I'm not really sure because I can't remember now. Which one I use. Let's try browns. So I'm just going to add a little bit of splatter. There we go. We're going to use bronze. Okay, so there we go. The inside is all ready. So I can add that now to the inside. Okay, so now we can work on our front, and this should not actually take us too long. So let's do our jar. So I do have a window sheet here that has adhesive sheet on the back, and I stuck it down really well. And we're going to punch out our jar. Okay, so now we have our clear front for our jar. And then I punched out the lid from like the textured gold foil paper, which I love. You guys all know that. So this sheet I'll keep on using until I use it all up. So let's stamp our jar. And our little decorations. So I'm actually going to stamp my decorations and then stamp my jar. That's just the way I found it easiest to do, but you can do it the other way. But I've always kind of done it backwards. It's just kind of the best way for you to do it, right? So I have just my piece of white here. Let's just see if I actually have. We'll just flip it around so that I make sure I have enough room. Okay, so I'm actually going to do my cherry cobbler layer first. So that's this funny one that just looks like next to nothing. So it's like all the accents, right? So I'm just making sure that I have enough room, but I'm close enough to the edge to get my punch in there. And if I miss the mark, we can go back. Okay. So then I do my crumb cake. And I'm just using, right, the little decorative pieces to help me line up this layer. I'll just give it a second. And if I'd gone too far, right, I could always trim around it so that I could get my punch in there. Okay, and then I'm going to do Memento ink for my jar. I am really very much feeling like I need a new Memento ink. So now we should be all lined up. I also really like, there's this really cute little dots, like I think it's supposed to be the snow for the snowman, but you could totally add distress with it too, right? So that's how I like to do it. Like I said, sometimes I'm backwards from other people. I just find that's my easiest way to line it up. So then I'm going to take my punch, and I don't care about the lid, right? I can add the lid behind that foil if I want to make it sturdier, but I don't think I did in my original. But so I'm just centering it, and I can punch. There we go. And now I can add my window sheet. Onto my jar, so it looks like a real jar. So can you guys see the shine? So, and then I'll just push it down. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna stamp our sentiment. So I used the Wishing You the Sweetest Christmas. I keep opening the stamp set, but I actually have it out on my desk here. But it's clear. There it is. It's clear, so I can't actually see it all the time. There we go. And I did this in Cherry Cobbler too, and I'm going to keep it relatively close to the top so that I can fit my jar in underneath. There we go. And I need to splatter this. So you can also just use your crumb cake ink, which is I think what I did with my original, but I don't have a water brush here. So like I said, I just grabbed my bronze blend. Okay. So now we need to adhere our or get ready to run our ribbon through. So you can't see it here, but it goes just through the bottom there. So I'm going to take my little punch, and I'm going to add the little slit for the ribbon. And I'm just trying to center it the best I can. Like that. So now I'll grab my ribbon. We'll just cut lots and then trim it off. Okay, so I'm just passing my ribbon through. So now I want to add my panel to the front. So I'm actually going to use dimensionals, and they'll hold my ribbon in place, right? So here are my little ones. Here are my big ones. So we can add this one on that side, and then let's I know my scissors are right here in front of me somewhere. There they are. Let's trim these. There we go. So now I can add this on my card front, and I want it kind of hanging down like that. Okay, and the ribbon still, you can move it to even it out. Just be gentle. There we go. And now I can add the jar lid to my jar. And I did that by just actually having dimensionals go across. And then that's what actually held it together. So you can do it. I'll just do it with a normal dimensional. So I'll add one there. I was going to trim them out, but I'll show you exactly actually how I did it. Okay. So I have two like right there on the edge like that. And now I can just add my jar, and the dimensionals is actually what's going to hold it together. There we go. And then I can just add a few more. And even so, the bottom of the jar, I did that so that it kind of even hides the ribbon. Okay, so the last thing we have to do is just add the gems. And I picked the, I think they're called the low profile. Sparkle dots. So, and I used the green ones. Okay, so there's my original. So these are the ones that coordinated with the Painterly pair. So there's like Secret Sea. I'm assuming that's Daffodil Delight. And then the green. So I use the green because that says Christmas. So, and I just tucked a few of them in just to add a little bit more sparkle. But I actually really like how everything came together. Like there's quite a bit of glitter here because it is a Christmas card. Okay, we've got two. So I'm going to add one here, just hiding behind the jar. And one here. So I know everybody doesn't do Christmas in July, but I think it's just kind of fun. It's so different than actually like what is going on outside right at the moment. There we go. Okay, so there's a fun and simple and very versatile fun fold to add to your collection. And that, my friends, wraps up week number 4 of Christmas in July. So I hope you guys have had as much fun as I have. I'll just come back to the front camera. Take down a little bit of the light. So like I said, there will be a blog post for week number 4, our cute little fun fold card. And week 1, 2, and 3 are already posted. And yeah, I hope you guys all have an awesome day. That's what I've got for you today. We'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.